Like, anti-racism as a method of self-defense for the black community is pro-black, but making it our objective, nah. Pan-Africanism is an objective. Pan-Africanism, some people think Pan-Africanism is a identity. Some of y'all with identity crisis can find yourself in Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is an objective, unifying Africans. That's all I want to talk about. That's why my whole TikTok is geared towards one thing. I don't care if you a brother, a sister, a cousin. Some of y'all don't want to be either one of those. Y'all want to just be cousins. I don't care if you Muslim. I don't care if you Christian. I don't care if you speak Spanish. I don't care if you Dominican or Ethiopian. I don't, if you black and you acknowledge it, you know your roots in Africa, then that's who I want to unify with. You know what I'm saying? That's all. I don't do the whole, all that other stuff is just literally built to divide us. I'm not doing that. And I encourage brothers and sisters to put that aside. At the end of the day, we black. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and power to the descendants of my ancient mother. My name is Brother Legend, and I'm here to raise your consciousness. What's going on? Free the land, Amanla. Come on in, brothers and sisters, what's good? What's up? As Dr. Khalid would say, February is almost over. Oh, how I love this month. It's also my birthday month. I'm an Aquarius in the age of Aquarius, doing Aquarian things to raise the consciousness of my people. Peace, Sister Tracy. Tracy. I'm gonna go with Tracy. What's going on, sister? Got Sankophobia shirts on the way. Sankophobia. You know what I'm saying? Got to show the little TM, little trademark, you know what I'm saying? Sankophobia shirts on the way. We got some hats. We got to get some hats for people with locks, but we got some hats. And we got some hoodies. We got a hoodie. Hoodie's real fly. I like the hoodie because you can explain what Sankophobia is in the hoodie. But what's going on, y'all? Hope everybody had a blessed weekend. Peace, Laura. What's going on? Thank y'all for the birthday wishes. I don't really celebrate my birthday, but I appreciate the acknowledgement. You know what I'm saying? I celebrate my birthdays every day. I'm telling you. Every day I wake up next to a black woman is my birthday. You know what I'm saying? Every day I wake up next to that beautiful black, brown-skinned woman. I thank God. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So, we got some questions up. Well, we got a question up here. Do black people benefit from anti-racism? Tell me how. Yes, the t-shirts are going to be for sale. The t-shirts are going to be for sale. Sankophobia with the Sankofa logo. If y'all know y'all Akan symbols, you know this means go back and get it. It's also something that African Americans would put in their metalwork. If you've seen a gate with this symbol, you might have seen a gate with like 2 bars on the side, and you see this symbol in the middle. That's your ancestors reminding you to go back and get it. We got the hats, little corduroy dad hat. And then we got the hoodie. I got Oreos on the hoodie, but we got the hoodie here. You know what I'm saying? With the picture of Sankophobia behind it, you know. And on the back, it's got the Sankofa logo on the back. You know what I'm saying? Real fly. I like the hoodie because you can kind of explain how Sunkofapedia is different than Wikipedia because it has that graph on it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's real fly. But yeah. So we got some stuff coming out. Do black people benefit from anti-racism? Should it be a black objective of our people? Should it be something that we focus on to end racism? Does ending racism advance the goals of our people? This is something I like to talk on because it's the difference between some of y'all diehard Democrats and some of us that know the left and the right are two wings on the same bird. You know what I'm saying? There's people that think that anti-racism is the work of what we should be doing, the work of our ancestors, what we should be doing. And then there's people that want to see a united Africa. I want to see a united Africa more than I want to see the end of racism. I want to see a united sovereign Africa. I want to see African people have knowledge of self and grow worldwide, build things together more than I want to see the end of racism. Because I know that once we all come together, racism ain't going to be a problem for us. I ain't never been in a room full of black people and racism was a problem. That only happens when we up in their spaces because they hogged all the resources. So the only way that we can get resources a lot of the times is to be in their face. So I know when we have our own resources, we not going to have to be in their spaces no more. We ain't going to be coming swimming across the Gulf of Mexico and all the water to get into America. We ain't going to be running to get into England and Europe to flee our countries no more because we're going to have our own resources. We're not going to need to be in these spaces. So that being the case, once I see a united Africa, once I see sovereign Africans, it's not going to be an issue for us to dismantle racism. We're not going to be worried about it. That's the way I feel. Y'all can let me know how you feel. Feel free to come on up. Hey, likes. Thank y'all for tapping like. I'm going to bring some people up here.
Okay, can I ask you, what do you mean by black people benefit from anti-racism?
Yeah, but before we get there, could you give us your age, race, and pronouns, please?
Yes, my name. Oh, you said my age race. My race is black. My pronouns is she, her, and I am 22.
All right. So, benefit, when something's benefit, that means it's a net positive. That means that overall, it's something that brings you up, not just repairs a damage. Like if I put a dent in your car and then I take the dent out of your car, you didn't benefit from that. I just repaired something that I had initially caused damage on. If I were to do something to benefit you, I would repair the damage and give you $100 maybe. You know, now I've done more. Now you're better off than the damage that was done just being repaired. You understand?
Right.
So that's the question: is does anti-racism benefit our people? What is your answer? Or how do you feel about it? You can talk about it. If you don't know something, you can.
So, are you saying? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to understand it. So,
Okay.
is the question saying that we benefit from people like the systematically, or just like individuals being racist?
Both. But the question is more geared towards groups of people, not individuals. But I would say it applies even on an individual basis. Individual anti-racism, um, does that benefit black people?
I don't think it does.
Mm-hmm.
Being anti-racist
Yeah.
to other races, like other people, like other groups.
Yeah, so being an anti-racist means first acknowledging that you're a racist and then working to dismantle and unpack that racism within yourself, but also dismantle it in the group that you come from. So That being the case, again, I don't see how that's a benefit. That's, if anything, that's a benefit for their community. Racism has cost the United States government and the United States in general $13 trillion because they refuse to give us houses and equal housing. They've actually cost themselves money. So they would actually benefit from anti-racism.
So would you say that black people should how would you say that black people should reform when it comes to racism? Like, how would you say that we should handle racism instead of like how it's handled today?
Well, how should we handle racism? I don't feel like racism is our concern until it becomes an issue as a means of self-defense. Um, should we be proactively finding the racists and calling them out and trying to cure a sickness in a community that is outside of our own? I don't think that's going to help anybody, and I think it's going to cost more of our lives than help anything. Now, should we, when racism does show up on our doorstep, should we defend ourselves? Absolutely. So, anti-racism as a tactic of self-defense is pro-black. Racism as an objective for black people is not pro-black.
Okay.
So, if something were to happen to you with the police, that's when we could be anti-racist to get you back home safely. If that's even the case, sometimes we go into the grave before we get to the cell. But that's when we can speak about anti-racism in defense of our communities. But being a proactive anti-racist is just an obsession with massa. We don't need to be doing that.
Okay, but I'm talking about like on a systematic level, right? Because racism is definitely like engraved into our system today, right? Like the people of the communities can actually sense it, even if it's not like necessarily in your face. The racism that black people face now is more so systematic. Like when we talk about the major cities and the urban cities, right? Although black people make up 13% of the population of the United States, they actually populate 80% of these urban cities and of these ghettos. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So also when you look at minimum wage, or you look at the wage differences between races, like black men and black women are the least under, or the most underpaid people in the United States.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right. So you're talking about institutional racism. Sometimes it's a common conflation where people conflate systemic racism and institutional racism. Racism is systemic, always has been. It used to be more more overt on an individual level, on a civilian level. Now it is very much institutionalized, but racism is always systemic. When you think of systems, let's see, institutions are like schools, corporations. Appreciate you, Joel Patrick. Buildings, organizations. They're open Monday through Friday. Racism is open on the weekends. So it's systemic, meaning social systems. I can't go to war by myself. If I don't like you and me and you get into a tussle, which I would never do, but let's say, we was fighting. That's not a war. That's a fight. That's on the individual level. When it becomes systemic, that means there are groups of people fighting. That is a war. So that's when it becomes systemic. Racism as it exists is systemic always. So whether it's institutional or not, it's still not something that we should focus on because, again, it just doesn't benefit us. It's a means of self-defense, of course. And that's what the Panthers taught us. That's what mostly the Panthers taught us. Everybody else learned it from, you know what I'm saying? But that's what we've talked about for a century or longer. Harriet Tubman. That's anti-racism is self-defense. So that's much different. I hope I'm answering the questions. I don't know if I'm veering off. Did you have anything else to answer, sister? Anything else to ask or say?
Right now, no. I was waiting for somebody else to say something.
Okay. Well, thank you for contributing. Peace, Timothy and Black Swan. What's going on? Do y'all have anything to say?
I do. Peace, brother legend. Black, she, her, 33. So I think that anti-racism is the responsibility of YT people. It's the issue is with them, it's not with us. Me personally, I've kind of seen lately, I guess I have a controversial take on this. I have seen people say that they are actively anti-racist. And it's kind of this thing where they self-proclaim it, and I feel as though they use it to maybe themselves from having a certain conversation. But a lot of them, I think a lot of them, it really requires, I've heard of deconstructive therapy, and I don't know, oh wow, that's different. I don't know, I've seen one YT person who has gone through deconstructive therapy, and I don't think that they are where they need to be, but they have a grasp on what it actually is. When you have conversations with most YT people, they don't even understand the way that racism affects us, because they look at it from their perspective, right? Like the way that they're viewing it is very different than the way that we view it. So for me, I've seen it kind of become performative, or maybe they'll use that term as a way to have proximity to the Black community, or, maybe not take on the responsibility of educating themselves and doing the work to deconstruct before they are in an interracial relationship, something along those lines. But I think that it's not something that we need to worry about. I think that we have to stay focused on us. And like you said, Africa uniting, like for me, I would want to see that and focus on that more so. I mean, anti-racism, it's their responsibility. It's their job to do the work and to resolve the issues. So, I mean,
Absolutely. I agree, because Africa come together. Africa come together, like what I'm saying, like the United States. Like, okay, yep, I'm in Nigeria right now. We about to go pull up to Mali, and then we're gonna head over to Tanzania on the other coast. You know what I'm saying? Then we going to, you know what I'm saying? We ride around the motherland. You know what I'm saying? Like just chilling, and we got household on this coast. And like we all over Africa. We got our own resources, plenty of food. Anywhere you go, a lot of places in Africa, even now, they don't have much resources, but people still eating. The average person might make $500 a year in some countries. They still eating because the trees in their backyard give life, bro. Like
is that why the African continent is the largest benefiter of international aid? Because they have so many natural resources.
Wait, hold on. We're gonna get to you. But the thing is, the way Europeans look at vegetation, the way Europeans look at plants, they look at certain things as weeds. Dandelions, for example. People y'all will drink chamomile tea, right? But if I go in your front lawn and pull some dandelions out the ground and boil it in some water and give it to you to drink, you'd be like, you putting dandelions in my cup? You see what I'm saying? Dandelions are chamomile. Like we told to look at certain things as weeds. In Africa, they like, oh nah, we make tea with this. Oh nah, this is mint right here. This is like different things that you would think, oh nah, we gotta cut all this down. That's weeds. Nah.
I think Well, I get frustrated too because I see, and I have this conversation with people that are receiving the information, with Black people that receive the information. Stop getting starry-eyed over YT people when they say that they are an active anti-racist, or they have a little bit of knowledge and they say something, and I see people saying thank you and this and no, that's a bare minimum, right? Like them doing the work to deconstruct for themselves is the bare minimum. But we still are combating these systems. I get so annoyed and so frustrated. I will be starry-eyed when Africa unites. That will light my fire
Oh my
within
goodness.
me.
Yeah.
Them doing the work that they're supposed to do to see the humanity in others, that's the bare minimum. That is the bare minimum. And we have to stop, like, yeah, I'll be telling people like, stop, no. Like, and some of them will do it for validation. Some of them will do it for their own purposes. Like, I don't think people realize that YT people have been programmed to not have to see or care about anything outside of themselves. And they've shown us that. Like we it's like we don't pay attention to it. Some of us, not all of us, but they have literally shown us who they are for hundreds of years, right? So why would we praise that? There's no need to praise that. But when we talk about us being focused on building,
because they're good at building societies
I'm
and
sorry, I'm
inventions and
talking.
doing.
I'm sorry, I'm talking.
Hold on,
I would
Joel. We're gonna
definitely
get to you.
praise us building ourselves up. And I did hear this one YT person that is doing this work that did go through the deconstructive therapy, and they only talk to other YT people. They will tell YT people that think they're actively racist or anti-racist that they're not. After she has a conversation with them, she will tell them that you're not. You think you are, but you're not. You have work to do. And while you're doing that work, stay away from Black people. Stay away from them. Leave them alone. Which I think is
Sounds
great
like
advice. But
segregation.
I'm sorry. I don't
Joel,
know what the problem is.
I don't know why you can't. Y'all got mouth diarrhea. Hold on, we gonna get to you.
But yeah, but that's how I feel about it. I think that we have to prioritize and focus on ourselves. Racism is a YT community's problem. It's their issue. It affects us. So we need to defend ourselves, like you said, but it's not something that we need to focus on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Appreciate you, Queen. Real quick, Bisa Wawa, we're gonna make our way up to you, brother. Could you mute yourself? You got some background noise. Appreciate you. Brother Shaka, you here? Oh, he left. All right. All right. Joel, Patrick, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
I'm 28, Black, and I'm just the regular ones.
The regular one. What's the regular ones mean?
The regular ones for an adult male.
Okay. What would that be for you?
Just don't even worry about it. Just call me Joel.
Okay. All right. That works. Go ahead, talk to us.
Yeah, so you guys were saying a bunch of nonsense. They're talking about, first of all, chamomile tea comes from dandelion, does not come from dandelions. Dandelion tea comes from dandelions. Chamomile tea comes from daisies. And you said that with such enthusiasm. I guess maybe you were confused a little bit. You also talked about how Africa has all these natural resources, which it does have natural resources, but they do not have food, which is why there's so many starving children over there that the white people have to send their aid packages over to help with. You also went on to say that white people don't do anything and they're destroying everything. White people build every functioning society in America today.
Is chamomile tea really dandelions? Or is it daisies?
No, it's daisy.
Oh, it's daisy? All right. So it's okay. The point was that there's vegetation in Africa and that Europeans look at vegetation as something to cut down and de-weed and all that other stuff. But I was also saying it's interesting that you said that they don't have food, yet there's 1.4 billion people in Africa. So there's obviously some way that they're able to eat, huh? Or do you think they just like have osmosis through their melanin?
What do you mean there's some way that they're... You said that they had plenty of food. That would imply that they're not starving. They are
If
starving.
there's 1.4 billion people, that means they have more food than America does.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do, because there's 1.4
America has a
billion
surplus
people.
of food.
America only has 300 million people. So even if they had a surplus, they don't have a surplus to the point where it's.
So
What is
first
that,
of all,
4
you just compared
They don't have 4.5 times more food for every
right, you
American.
just compared a continent, to a country. You needed to compare all of North America.
Yeah.
Joel,
to
Joel, weren't you the
There's
same
more than
individual
300
that
million
didn't
people in
know
all of
that
North
Egypt
I
America.
used to
compared
be
a
called Kemet?
population. I didn't compare a continent. I compared a population of 1.4 billion to a population of 300 million.
That's a
And the
country to a
population
continent.
with
America is a country.
1.4
Africa is a continent.
billion.
You would need to include Canada and Mexico.
Joel, answer this question for me. I got a serious question for you, okay? Does your wife like pumpkin spice?
I don't have a wife.
Do you like girls with lips?
All girls have lips.
That tells me a lot. That tells me a lot.
Can I ask him a question? Joel, what color are your shoes and do your ankles hurt?
What color are my shoes? I wear cowboy boots.
Your ankles hurt?
No, they have great support.
Mm-hmm. You wear cowboy boots?
I do, every day.
What do cowboy boots look like?
They have all different types of variations, but mine are alligator leather.
You're funny, Joel.
I know y'all probably prefer Jordans, but I prefer work boots. It gives off a different vibe.
Joel, why do you think we prefer Jordans?
Because you think you're supporting a black-owned business, even though white people own the brand. He only owns a percentage of it.
I've never met a person that bought Jordans and thought that they were supporting a black-owned business.
I've never met a person who bought the Jordan basketball shoes and played basketball in them.
Well, you don't know any basketball players then, I guess.
They don't ball in Jordans.
I never met somebody in cowboy boots that didn't like women of a certain or hue or lack thereof.
I prefer women who are fit. That's my only caveat.
Fit?
Yeah, I don't prefer overweight women.
Okay. All right. Joel, do you consider yourself a black man?
That's not even a question. What I consider myself is irrelevant. I'm obviously a black man. I possess a mirror.
Do you feel like you speak for most black people?
Absolutely not. If I did speak for most black people, they'd be a lot better off.
And what gives you that gumption?
Because I know what our community needs to do better, and I know what we're currently doing and why it's not working.
Do you think what we need to do to be better is to wear cowboy boots?
I think that's a start, because it helps you, one, not fit the description. Two, it helps you not be confused with the ghetto Negroes that are always causing problems.
Joel, weren't you the same person that I had a debate with a while back ago who didn't know that Egypt originally was called Kemet before it was conquered multiple times?
What are we referring to? Because I've never seen or heard of you in my life.
Stop tap dancing, my boy. I know your feet tired. Ah, damn.
He don't tap dance. He don't tap dance. He line dance.
He
Appreciate you, Alicia. Yeah, he in the wrong live. It's okay.
I know you can't see his
All
page,
right.
but he actually sells YT privilege cards, and he advertises that on his page.
In his bio, he says, "I'm a black red man."
Yeah, he does.
How
Yeah,
you a black redneck? Our necks don't get red.
That is egregious. Wow.
Yep.
Our necks don't get red in the sun. All right, let's go to the next guest. I honestly, y'all, I wasn't in the mood today. Normally, I just wasn't in the mood with him. It was too sad. Like some of the stuff he said, to be honest, just full of hatred to the point where it only comes from self-hatred. There's no way. Like what he said about ghetto N-words, like Bro, think he invited to the picnic. He don't know he's the main course. Anyway, Beast of Wawa, what's good, brother?
Family, seed, power, and prosperity. That dude was a trip. Okay, that was just okay. See, he had a little bit to say with the Daisy thing, but that didn't even matter. It's the fact that he was just so willing to refute and rebuke so readily. It's just, oh my.
Yeah.
My
Right. And I think he expected like an argument, but when somebody has it that deep, I try to like maybe learn from them so I can hear more of how hateful they are so that we can kind of maybe learn what causes that in him and what narratives they tell themselves, because I don't know what it's like to hate myself that much. I don't know what it's like to hate my community that much. And right, the self-righteousness and the egocentrism, the what do you call that? Hubris of that man to say that he knew solutions for the black community with a Confederate flag in his profile. That's
I
wild.
didn't even see that. I
Yeah,
didn't even see
I
that.
see. I've been peeped it. Before he even said something, he kept interrupting, saying they're. He said, "What do we were talking about something?" He said Europeans are better at building societies and something. And I'm like, wait, is that a Confederate
I ran
flag?
into a dude just like that earlier. We talking about Europeans made this, that, and the third. Like First off, like Europeans didn't make that. Europeans didn't make this, and the Europeans didn't make that. No, Americans built this whole fucking thing. The Americans were us. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
trust and
Come on
believe.
now.
Like we had like I got into a debate with him a while back ago on the panels, and I forget exactly which live it was through, but yeah, bro didn't even know that Egypt was originally called Kemet. He didn't even know that that civilization wasn't always it. He literally said on that panel that the entirety of Egypt has always been Egypt, and Arabs have always lived there.
And you know,
And
well,
The
swiftly,
he knew
Middle
the
East.
difference. He knew the difference between dandelion and chamomile tea. Tell you that much.
That was all he had on him. Okay,
That's all he
let's
had.
continue. So to answer the prompt for the people, especially
Why
for the people in the
why
back
you
who ain't
okay,
listening.
man?
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. So do black people benefit from anti-racism? We were just talking about that earlier. Me and a few other people. I think Swan was on the panel. This is like an umbrella term that has been kind of co-opted by the Confederate, like the Confederate, you could say evangelical nationalists in America. A lot of them like to act like as if they're like, oh, I've had racism done against me. I've had black people say this, like no. That does not apply. That does not apply. Listen, whatever we say about you is warranted, okay? Because look at what you've done to us. And even though they may act like they're our friends, they're not. I had to tell a few people at my own like workspace, like, no, we're not friends. You are not my coworker. I associate with you because I have to, and we're not friends. No matter how much you try to tell me, oh, I have tons of black friends, even my girlfriend's black. Oh my good. Oh, that hurts my
They
soul
have
right
black
there.
friends like the brother, that guy that was just up here. I don't even call him a brother. That guy that was just up here. That be the ones they talking about when they say they got black friends. Those that
Man.
align themselves with white supremacy.
The chicanery, that's what I call it.
Right.
Chicanery. I say chicanery. Okay, no, like this ridiculous to me.
Uh-huh.
Now, we don't benefit from letting these people infiltrate our spaces. We don't. Okay, we don't. We never have. Okay, and for people who are anti-institution, anti-slavery, that's to their own benefit as well. Okay, these people are out for themselves. They're not looking out for you. You think they're looking out for what's in your interests? No, they have interests that align with your goal. And your goal is to get rid of the system, and they want to get rid of the system as well to prop up their own beliefs. That's not to help us. You think they would really take a bullet from a pew pew like to save you? You think they would really go out of their way to tell the officer, no, officer, he didn't commit that crime.
Can I ask
He's
some
actually good.
questions?
No.
Hmm?
Oh,
Oh
okay.
my goodness. See, you see, Elsa's over here talking. Huh. Well, no, the ice
Please,
people are out
y'all
here
don't
waiting.
interrupt. We gonna come up to everybody. Give everybody a chance to talk. We don't want cross talk. All right, go ahead, brother.
No, but at the bottom line, no, they don't. benefit from being your quote unquote friend. They don't benefit us from being quote unquote allies. They don't benefit us from being quote unquote on the other side of the fence. No, stay on the other side of the fence. You're not coming to the cookout. Okay, you're not coming to the cookout. You're not coming to the meeting. You're not getting involved.
Definitely
Because
not coming to the meeting.
no, you're not coming to
We be having meetings on a Sunday. I tell you now, y'all better not come to the
True.
meeting. Don't come to the meeting.
They don't know nothing about Yosef Ben Yakinen, okay? They
They
don't know
don't
nothing
know
about Arthur Schomburg. They don't know anything about these people. All they know about is Malcolm X, MLK, and Black History Month. That's all they know
They
because that's
barely
what they've
know
been taught.
Malcolm X. They think they know Malcolm X.
No, see, now they don't know Malcolm. They like to conflate Malcolm with Martin and say, no, like he was nonviolent and like he was all peace. It's like peace is not what you think it is.
Mhm.
Peace for them is the absence of resistance.
The absence of tension.
That's
Absolutely.
the absence of tension does not equate justice. Okay, there needs to
Right.
be a presence of justice always for our
Right.
people, and with them around, even in our spaces, we are not safe.
Right.
That's just it. That's just it. Like I had to go around. I was going around here talking to my grandfather. You know, I think I told Swan about that too. He's a black man, traded up his queen for a white tea woman as an insurance policy. He done got a snow queen. Listen, he turned into a black ice man. Okay, I'm telling you, I was
And he turned into the
baffled.
dude from the what's that? The Incredibles.
He turned
Samuel Jackson.
no, really. No, and it's because he feels. I saw a picture of him at the quote unquote reunion like the family reunion with his YT wife, and he looks so happy,
Mm,
sickeningly happy, buddy up with them, holding them in his arms. It's like, do you
mm.
feel safe?
That's wild.
And why do you feel safe? Because he feels as though he's got the insurance policy, which is a YT woman. Their
Mm,
insurance policies. That's how they view our black women when they
mm,
want to get a sister on their side. You know, when they want to get when they want to get somebody who's actually got that genuine beauty, that substance of character, that
mm,
determinable, like actual, like proactiveness that you can just perceive in a woman,
mm,
especially a black queen. Trust me, they
mm,
see it and they want to covet it. That's the whole reason why they want you.
mm.
But yes, I love being up on the panel. I'm I'm totally down for everything we got going on. Listen, Sankophobia, I saw the merch earlier,
Yeah,
brother.
Sankophobia,
Look at
y'all.
that. Stop it. Nah, see, and we saw the web. See, everyone who's listening, y'all didn't see it, but we saw the web of Sankophobia, and he's gonna put that on the shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all are gonna look at it, and it's gonna look phenomenal. Okay, y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know what's in the works. He's got it all mapped out.
Yeah, we got some other stuff in the works too. My wife is building her project. Anybody that has a project that's going to unify African people, and by African I mean black people worldwide, anybody that has a project, feel free to join us. Be One Initiative Foundation is a
Thank you for the
foundation.
gifts, my people. I appreciate y'all.
You know what I'm saying? So anybody, you got an idea, you want to come up with a book for black children, you want to do something, come to our meetings, come check us out. If it makes sense, then we can support it,
Yes.
Hmm.
Death to the pigs, power to the sniper, okay?
Absolutely. All right.
I'm gonna go mute.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Shaka, what's going on, brother?
Peace, peace, brother.
Peace.
Peace, Sister Swan. Peace, Brother Timothy. Peace, Beast of Wawa. Peace to all my beloved, beautiful black sisters and brothers and others.
Okay. What's going on, King
With a
Beast?
topic like this, the question like this, I ain't come to hold back. I just came back from suspension not too long ago.
All right, don't do it again on here, but
I ain't gonna go too hard.
let us know.
I
Let
ain't
us
gonna go too
know.
Do black people benefit from anti-racism? This is a real controversial answer. So My thing is, I don't think we benefit from anti-racism, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because for years, these people who have been marching with us, claiming they anti-racist and all that, the same cycle happens, right? And they supposed to be the majority. If y'all is the majority of this country, why haven't y'all stepped up and got these other white tea folks foot off our necks? You feel me? And you know, I already know up here gonna come up here. Well, you know, I'm not a racist. I have black friends. I never put you in slavery. I didn't do that. Come on. We gotta vote for a global humanistic society. A global humanistic society. Yeah, we gonna work towards a global humanistic society, and you can't, human buddy. We don't. All right, these, you know what I'm saying? With these people, bro, like I said, you can't trust these people. All right, they is your enemy. They are the masters of trick
I
knowledge.
am the master.
Hold
You
on,
are the
hold on,
master
hold
of
on.
trick.
She like
You
that
are
word.
all I gotta say is get thee behind me, Satan. But they are the masters of tricknology. You see how the devil get when you get started hitting the nerve, right? You see how the devil get, Shaka, he's up here talking that black stuff. You know what I'm saying? These
Go
same
ahead,
people,
brother. I know.
same people, when we get to yelling black power, they get spooked. Black power? I thought we killed that stuff. I mean, unalive that stuff. We get to preach of separation. You don't want to be around us anymore. They want a nation of their own. Yeah, we do want a nation of our own. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't help us. You know what I'm saying? Being anti-racist, y'all can march all y'all want. Y'all can protest all y'all want. Y'all can sing "We overcome" with us all you want. But with your no good grandmammy, your no good grandpappy, and all the lines, set the foundation for us to be in this condition. So you should be marching for us anyway. And even if y'all can save something, even if y'all can change something, we still won't let you inside the damn slave theater. Still, we won't let you in to warm the hell up. Stay your ass out there in the ice in your natural habitat. And then she want to come in. You see how she just come in and tone so well. You don't know. You don't hold power here. You don't hold power here. It's new black folks today. Today, we ain't on it today. So, Susie, you better buckle up, honey, because it's going to be a long ride, pal.
What Dr. Khaled call him? I forgot the last name he be using.
Susan Ron Rickle.
Ron Winkle. Susan
Ron
Ron Winkle.
coming in, want to come in with a dashiki on. You know what I'm saying? You know, she the main one, keep up alive. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn. Brothers, I don't give a damn how long her dress is. Her wickedness is longer than her damn dress. And sisters, when you get these white tea women out in these spaces, y'all should raise holy.
Hey, man. Shaka remind me of Fred Hampton, man. Shaka remind me of Fred Hampton.
And sisters, what I was saying is, when these white tea women, these Susie, these Heathers, Becky, Karen, when they come in y'all spaces, raise holy hell. Excuse me for my language. Raise holy HELL. Keep them B words up out of here. Because them the real bees, brothers. We should be calling our sisters bees. These is the real bees. They act like them. Recessive, depressive. You know what I'm saying? Not for me. Not for me. You got the other brother up in here. He tap dancing, you know. I dance with Massa. Came up in here. You know what I'm saying? The milk just taking over. You know what I'm saying? So don't get twisted, brothers and sisters. They might try to act like they got your interest in heart, but as soon as they get done, when it's time to touch on real black problems, like Brother B said, they ain't gonna take a blow for you. They ain't willing to take a bullet for you. You know what I'm saying? So once the shots ring out, you know what I'm saying? You know what they doing? They going right on the news. Well, you know, those African American protesters, they were just, you know, they shaking the microphone like this. They were just too violent. You know what I'm saying? I love Malcolm X. You know, they don't never talk about Old Testament Malcolm. They love talk about New Testament Malcolm when he came back from Mecca. Malcolm was a man of peace. He was a real Muslim. I support everything that Malcolm did. You know what I'm saying? All right, so you support Elijah and Khalid, right? No, they were racist. They were racist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Same people, man. They don't never. Every time they don't want to teach us nothing about our freedom fighters. You know what I'm saying? They want to teach us about the brothers and sisters who are pacifists. And I love the brothers and sisters who are pacifists. But they know if they teach us what we really capable of, you know what I'm saying, we'll raise hell. We will raise hell. You know what I'm saying? But they love Martin Luther King. And I'm glad Martin had a dream. But at the same time, that same dream turned into a nightmare. You know what I'm saying? Red, don't worry, Red. The sun ain't out yet. The sun ain't out yet. But it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. You know what I'm saying? So, brothers and sisters, always remember, they not your allies. All they want to do is just have you exchange. I'll be a better slave master than they were. I won't call you the N-word to your face, buddy. I'll do it behind closed doors, but I won't do it to your face, buddy. You know, I'll come out, you know, I listen to Tupac too. You know, I listen to a little NLE Chopper and little
That's
Baby.
enough. I've had enough of you.
You know, I look at the devil. Truth hurt, don't it? You know what they say? You throw a rock at a pack of dogs, the one that holler, the one that get hit. You know what I'm saying? One that holler, they get hit. No, devil, we ain't gonna let you come up in here and tell us how we should run things. You ain't our ally. You was the devil before you came. You'll be the devil after you leave. Ain't no damn debate about it. No good bastard.
All right, Brother Shaka. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Ether, brother. My wife been in the kitchen screaming this whole time. Hey, man, I appreciate Shaka, man. He got the spirit of Khalid in him, and the ancestors be talking through that, brother, man. I really appreciate you coming and blessing us. Everybody, don't forget to join us, be1initiative.org. The link is in my bio if you want to join us in our Discord. If y'all think these conversations are lit, come and join us on Sunday. We be having our meetings on Sunday. We watch videos together of the scholars. It's Pan-African safe space, you know what I'm saying? Come and join your brothers and sisters, man. We organizing. Appreciate you, Brother Shaka, once again. And peace to you, brother. All right, peace and power. Red user, go ahead, give us your age, your race, and your pronouns. We want to give you the floor to go ahead and say what you got to say.
I really appreciate you. I'm old. And I'm a woman, and I really appreciate Shaka, whatever the hell his name is.
Your race, please.
I'm sorry?
Your race and your pronouns. So your race.
You can't tell my race?
I can't tell that by just a photo. You gotta give us, you know, your age, your race, and your pronouns.
Red is a problem.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, what?
There is a problem.
Oh, there's a problem? What's the problem?
Oh, no, this user beneath me.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, like a problem, like we shouldn't let her speak, or...
I'm just
We try and let you talk, Red User. Everyone who comes up here has to say their age, their race, and their pronouns. If you want to say something, that's what you have to tell us.
I don't have to say anything.
All right, then don't. Bye.
Bye, I love you.
Man, that was weird.
Yep.
That's disgusting. Somebody light some sage for me, man. Baby, light some sage. Light that sage up. I need to cleanse my eardrums. I know she ain't just say what like that would. Y'all see? Hey yo, didn't I tell y'all about this? I told y'all about them women, how they talk to black men. That is weird. Like I'm telling you, bruh. I'm telling you, they will just think they can just love and be like, they just kind of like invasive. Is that the word? Like they kind of just will cross boundaries. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's weird as hell. Itch, I don't know you. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying not to use the word because, you know, TikTok or whatever. There's only one specific group of women I'll use itchba for. You know what itchba is? You know what I'm saying? It's one specific, because that word doesn't hold power. That word doesn't denote a power stance where I have power over her. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Itchbas. Oh, like don't play with me, female.
Real itchy.
Yeah, yeah, real itchy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, thank you. This what we doing. This what we doing. Hold on, let me bless y'all real quick, man. This what we doing.
But yeah,
Nice.
don't play them games with her because she was playing them yesterday. Nope.
Yeah, we ain't doing that. I don't know what that was.
Be careful,
With
King.
that mayonnaise on.
Sometimes
Yes.
be careful, King.
I didn't
Sometimes
have to say
TikTok will flag.
anything.
Well, hold on one second. Just be careful, King, because sometimes
Yeah,
TikTok
you're right.
will
Yeah,
flag.
I remember as soon as you said it. Appreciate you, brother.
Well, you can't
Itchbas.
sage.
Absolutely.
You can't sage. What's up?
Nah, they think you smoking.
Dang, that big one.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to get the devil out of here. All right, go ahead, Populous. Did you want to speak on the topic?
Sure. They probably know that it's sage, but they just calling it like they pretending it's something else and being ignorant and stuff just so they could be anti-black. Mm-hmm. They probably know it's sage, but do we benefit from anti-racism? Yeah, I mean, if everybody learned to be anti-racist, then and took the steps towards unpacking it and rejecting, these colonial viewpoints in schooling and education and textbooks and media and everything that they're surrounded in. But that's like asking a fish to get out the water, get on the beach, and dry itself off. So
the whole thing about this question is the context and the framing. A benefit is something that takes you from 0 to 100, and
progress is a benefit. Like, I mean, if you drown in 10 feet underwater and they make it 8 feet underwater, you're still drowning. But if they can pull you above water, then that's benefit.
But see, exactly. Now, does pulling me above water when you're the reason I'm drowning, is that a benefit, or you see what I'm saying?
Yes, it is, but it's like it's not something you need to be congratulated over. It is beneficial and thank you, but I'm still asking for more, and that don't mean like, oh, shut up, don't ask for nothing for another year. Like, no, I'm gonna receive this and I'm gonna ask for more because we ain't done yet. But yes, it is a benefit. Like if you go from underwater to above water, that's a benefit.
But everyone should be above water because that's where you can breathe and live at. If most of humanity right now is above water, how are you doing after tying weights to my feet to drown me? How does it benefit me to just be at equal playing field of everyone else?
No, if things were fair, we would be the richest community in the country.
But fair isn't beneficial, is my point. Fair is justice. We think because we have been treated with so much injustice that justice itself is not something we're entitled to, and that just receiving justice is something that is beneficial, something that, oh my goodness, oh, such a blessing. But
that's your point.
I feel like that's the issue, is that we're all entitled to humane treatment. We're all entitled to justice.
We still gotta figure out a way to make it happen in any means necessary in multiple ways. And
but my thing is, I wouldn't even focus on making this happen. I want to make a unified Africa happen. I want to make a black bank built by backed by African resources happen. I don't want a black bank with white dollars in it. I want a black bank with black dollars, black resources backing the dollars. I want a black economy built with just black workers. I want a worldwide network of shipping goods from the Africa to Caribbean to the America. That's what I don't give a damn about if racism is a. They're gonna be mad that they racist when a unified Africa is empowered so much that their economy is stronger than anything a European ever made. The African economy is the most stable economy in the world. You know why? Because throughout all of human history, people have needed the African economy to the point where that's the reason that they subjugated so much, because they need it. if you don't, that's the thing about a narcissistic relationship. When people like when someone is a narcissist towards you and trying to keep you around, it's because they need you. They need you, and they need Africa. Africa don't need them. So the most stable economy that we know that has never not existed in human history is the African economy. Mm-hmm. That's always been needed. So a dollar backed by the most stable economy on earth is going to be the most stable dollar, the most powerful dollar. All we have to do is unite Africa, and they're going to be mad that they race. They're going to get, there's going to be a lot of anti-racism then.
Put some sanctions on them so they had to make payments like they did Haiti. France did.
That's when we asked. That's what I was saying before. I meant to say that in one of my videos. That's when we talk about reparations. We talk about reparations after we done built ourselves up, and then they come crawling back. Now, where them reparations at? Where them reparations at? Run that. Now you in debt to us. There you go. You still want your diamonds? Or you still want the beers? You still want uranium? You still want coltan? You still need lithium in your phones? Oh yeah? Okay. Yeah, we'll do that for you. Reparations. Go ahead. What you got? What you got for me?
Yep. All that wealth they've generated, all this land they've owned, tax, keep on added on. You say, okay, yep, that's the total. Now we haven't even got to the 1800s yet, and we're gonna add on more.
And then they're gonna start associating black skin with wealth, back to how it originally was for hundreds of thousands of years. So that's what's going to happen then. I'm not that. Yeah. Then racism is going to flip on its head. Then every time they see a black person, every time they see a black woman, they're going to be like, "Oh, don't mess with her. Oh, whoa, don't mess with. That's a black woman. Oh, whoa."
People gonna say, "Oh, you look poor." I say, "No, I'm just fair skinned."
Yeah. Skin cancer is going to be a poor man's disease. Oh, you got. What's that? You got melanoma. Oh my. Ooh, melanoma. I couldn't do it. It couldn't be me, child.
Sunblock is discontinued. It's prescription only.
That's what we gonna do. That's what I'm telling you. But it's just, that takes a positive view on what Africa can be. That takes not looking at the problem and focusing on the problem. Anti-racism is focusing on the problem. When you focus on the problem, the only answer is the solution. But I mean, the answer is to not have the problem anymore. So yeah, let's get rid of the problem. Yeah. But we could also focus on solutions for us on a more positive tip where it's like, okay, the sword and the shield, you know what I'm saying? Like anti-racism as a method of self-defense for the black community is pro-black, but making it our objective, nah. Pan-Africanism is an objective. Pan-Africanism, some people think Pan-Africanism is a identity. Some of y'all with identity crisis can find yourself in Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is an objective, unifying Africans. That's all I want to talk about. That's why my whole TikTok is geared towards one thing. I don't care if you're a brother, a sister, a cousin. Some of y'all don't want to be either one of those. Y'all want to just be cousins. I don't care if you Muslim. I don't care if you Christian. I don't care if you speak Spanish. I don't care if you Dominican or Ethiopian. If you black and you acknowledge it, you know your roots in Africa, then that's who I want to unify with. You know what I'm saying? That's all. I don't do all that other stuff is just literally built to divide us. I'm not doing that. And I encourage brothers and sisters to put that aside, because none of us are subjugated or discriminated against, mistreated because we a Christian, a Muslim, a gay, straight. None of that other stuff matter. At the end of the day, we black. At the end of the day, we Bantu. At the end of the day, we're children of the ancient mother of Africa, the black woman. So at the end of the day, that's what we should be focusing on, what unifies us. All right, we'll go to the next guest. Amanda, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
White, 20, pronoun she, her.
All right, Amanda, talk to us.
I totally agree with you. I'm not so my father, he was mixed and he was not in my life, but it wasn't really because of it wasn't really his fault. My mom didn't want him in my life. The same thing with my mom's side of the family. So I don't have any
I'm sorry, y'all. I can't go from that what I was just saying to a bunny, bro. I can't do it. I can't do it. Now I'm sorry. Listen. That's what I don't like about TikTok, bro. That's what I don't like about TikTok. We can't go from that to a bunny, right? Am I tripping? Am I wrong? Like we can't go from what I just talked about to a bunny, right? She's about to talk about her life, center herself. We already know what's about to happen, right? I just talked about unifying Africa. We cannot go from that to talking about the color of the snowflakes. Like we can't do that, right? Am I tripping?
No,
Y'all,
not at all. She
I
did the
can't do that.
typical bait and switch where they, try to align themselves and then they
Yeah,
switch and they center themselves. That is the
I couldn't do
YT
that.
woman's thing. That is their thing. Center
Yeah,
themselves.
right.
If you
And
need
then
to go
tell
to
you how
therapy,
they
you're gonna
not
go to
one of them.
therapy. But like, we got a topic we're trying to discuss, and why you got to center yourself and talk about your life story. And it's like no shade, but like it's every time. If the
Yeah,
shoe fits, and lace that itch up.
Yeah, you can't just
yeah.
go from Pan Africanism having a full conversation about the unification of Black people globally and building on economic power and having Africa be to the same level at which it was in ancient times, and then immediately divest into a
A
conversation.
conversation with a bunny, bro. We can't do that. Like honestly, she gonna have to come back another day when we talking about. I'll put the interracial relationship prompt up. How about that? Because that's the reason I stay on that topic. Is because then it kind of gives us space where they can come up and show their ass, and we learn from that. How it is problematic because a lot of us believe we can love massa and dismantle racism at the same time. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I just I couldn't go from that conversation to a bunny. It just hurt my brain too much. I felt my brain like splitting in half. Like you know what cognitive dissonance is? Cognitive dissonance is one of the symptoms of the multi-generational trauma of slavery from our ancestors. Cognitive dissonance by Dr. Joy DeGroy, she calls it post-traumatic slave syndrome. Cognitive dissonance is when you know better, but you don't do better. So you know it in your mind. We talked about African unity. We talking about all this other stuff. And then what I'm gonna do after knowing that knowledge is sit here and let a bunny talk. Come on now. I can't do that. All right. Even though it probably would have made views go up, to be honest. But I'm gonna just keep it pushing. Terra.js, what's going on, Queen?
How y'all doing? I'm
Peace.
37. I'm Black. My pronouns are she and her.
All right, talk to us.
So the whole anti-racism thing, it's like, I went on one of their lives the other day, and like, it's a few things that I think is very disturbing. I think we have a tendency of saying or look at the past, we learn from the past so we understand our present, but not actually understanding what that means, right? It means that there's a pattern, like we human beings as a group, we got patterns of behavior and they kind of evolve, but they look the same. So when I went up there, I was saying, because first of all, he was monetizing on what he was saying, and he had like Black moderators on the panel, which was wild. First of
This
all,
is a non-black person?
yeah.
Oh,
So when
okay.
I went up, because I asked, I was like,
What shade of non-black, if you don't mind me asking?
oh, he was a YT person. My bad.
Oh, no shade. Okay.
For some reason, I didn't think that mattered. That's crazy. But I my curiosity because I'm thinking like how does this look like where have we seen this before, right? And we know how like the white man's burden evolved into like the white savior complex. So I'm like, you talking about Black issues, right? And it's like for me, I'm just saying, like, what does this mean? Like, y'all got this awareness. What does this mean? Because, like, we used to have outright racism or whatever. And then, the word racism got popularized and y'all felt some way about it, even though y'all still get sensitive about that word. And it's like, then we end up with the microaggressions, right? So now you're educating yourself more on these issues. And unless you relinquishing some type of resources, like, you're going to dismantle. I'm not talking about just, like, I'm not white YT for the sake of, I feel shame, but like, hey, because I asked, I was like, for example, the consensus, y'all know stuff like that, y'all get political power. Would y'all all be willing to check other and put something up in there, else in there, like where like it actually matters? Like, what does this mean? How did this not evolve? So I asked him about, that knowledge of the White Panther Party, and it was so ironic because they was like, oh, they saw them as a joke because they wasn't really doing anything. I said the irony for you to say that, because one of the things that they that was tied in with the White Panther Party was anti-racism. This is not a new thing, and it's like y'all feel a little guilty because you're not just good, whatever you want to say you are, and it's like, oh, now we learn about this. How do you? And then the things they're talking about, these problems been around forever. What are y'all talking about? Like, it's just crazy to me. I don't see it as being a help to anybody. I see it as YT people trying to relieve any type of guilt they feel without actually doing anything about the problem.
Mm. I heard that. That's part of the conversation we didn't even touch on. Is that does white anti-racists exist? Do they exist? I know there's a TikToker named Big Bear John Brown.
No, that's what live I was in. I went and I asked him about it. And he was like, well, you think we shouldn't? I said, no, keep doing this, whatever this is, keep doing this. But I'm like, are y'all actually going to do anything? I'm like, in 2030.
I was just about to say that. Yeah,
that's what I said. I said, so I'm like, because I asked him, I was like, the same system we fighting against before it came here, y'all was fighting against it in Europe, and y'all just kind of gave up because like now we the scapegoats now. Y'all don't care anymore. But like, what are you actually going to do to dismantle the system, or y'all still going to be like the cowards?
They're not going to do that. They'll learn about it. They'll learn. They'll quote unquote call themselves learn about it. They'll sit down and read books about it. I got a metaphor for it. It's like if you seen your neighbor locking children up in his basement. You seen your neighbor locking children up in the basement. You seen them pulling up van loads of children, loading them up in the basement. You hear the screams of the children. You see videos on your phone of what it looked like in the basement. The children saying, please come help us, please. Oh my goodness, he's locking us up. You approach your neighbor, you knock on his door, you say, hey, I don't like what you're doing to them children. The neighbor says, you know what? I'll give you $1,000 a day to just stay quiet about it and just move on with your life. And he say, okay, well, I need the money. So you take that $1,000 a day, and now you know what's going on with them children, and you benefiting from it. You getting paid $1,000 a day, and then you still feel guilty. You decide, I'm gonna call some people together. We're gonna have a book club. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna, oh man, look at what's happening to these children. We're gonna retweet the videos and let people know. Oh man, it's so bad. Oh man, but you're still getting your benefits, and so yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, first of all, you monetizing. I'm sorry, but I was gonna say, like, it's like this being monetized. Is the funds from that going to some black organization? Like, are y'all like signing over land that y'all inherited? Like, what's going on here besides just being a PowerPoint session? That's all I had to say. Is like, I don't really see the purpose, because it's like, we educating ourselves on a system that's been like this the whole time. So it's just like an ignorant people just sitting around learning about stuff.
You told Big Bear John Brown that?
Now I went on there and I was telling him. He was like, well, what are you saying, we shouldn't do this anymore? Because first he was challenging, like, well, because I asked him where he was from. I think he said he's from Poland. He Polish or something like that. I can't remember. But I was like, are you gonna go learn about the indigenous cultures over there in Europe? Like, are you like, what's going on here? Like, what are y'all actually doing? So
well, shout out to you for raising hell up in John Brown's live. That's I know they was mad at you.
Yeah, the first time I went there, I had a whole script I read to them, and I was talking about what I was talking about, like dismantling the system, and it's like, what was I saying to them? I'm like, y'all don't think it's a problem that y'all can't feel music? Like, y'all don't think, like, y'all talking about everything that's happened to black people? Like, y'all don't want to do a deep dive into like how dehumanizing people has affected your psyche? Like,
don't talk about it on TikTok. Talk about it in the courthouse. Talk about it.
It's like,
y'all
saying something about y'all YT. What does that mean? Like, what does that even mean? And you like this don't mean nothing. So. Yeah, I see the BS and I wanted to call it out. But I
Yeah,
mean,
but you got, that's still typical of them. You know what I'm saying? You probably shared more knowledge with them than they've ever had on that live, just by saying that. But again, it's still not, because I've seen his lives too, and I just don't say nothing. It's not my place. You feel me? Like, let them they ain't gonna do nothing. You right though. They not
what,
gonna do nothing.
so I
And
just want to clarify.
even
I don't go in there trying to educate nobody, right? I go in
no,
there to call out how the hypocrisy or whatever. But I
it
mean,
is
when I talk,
hypocrisy. Yeah.
they don't interrupt. They allow me to say my 2 cents.
Yeah.
I told them that they should I kept focusing on consensus for some reason. I told them y'all should check other and put descendants of caves in there. They didn't.
Terror! Why you terrorizing them people, Terror? You
And
know.
they felt too guilty to say anything. I just thought that was hilarious. I mean,
That's funny. Yeah. Nah, they ain't gonna do nothing. You could tell them till you blue in the face. It ain't gonna change nothing. You ain't wrong though. You ain't wrong though. I've been peeped it. I was like, I be watching the lives and I be seeing, a few brothers and sisters even go up there. I would just be like, ain't nothing I could do to really do nothing in this space. I don't. This is not what my focus is. That's what the topic is about. You know what I'm saying? That anti-racism stuff. That ain't my focus. You know what I'm saying? Now he want to teach it to them people. Let him do the safest thing for him to do is to just talk on TikTok. That's the safest thing for them to do. If you really want to save the children in your neighbor's basement, you go get the blam blam and go unalive the person that's holding those children hostage and you free those children. You do anything by any means to stop inhumanity from going on in your community, right? Your community is complicit and you are benefiting from inhumanity
yeah,
and you call yourself an anti-racist, be about that life. And I'm not saying on an individual level, y'all should be organizing on a group level to be about that life. And
I
there's
was.
many ways they could do that. But go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say one more thing. I was on another live and we was talking about like trauma, how trauma is passed down to children, and this YT woman came out real condescending, like and trying to change the subject. It was so annoying because you knew she was up there to like irritate. So I was just like let's just recognize that we are talking about an issue that affects our children from your community. Like we learned this from y'all community because y'all don't respect y'all children. Like when our ancestors, like yeah, they adapted and then it was damaging, but they try to adapt to keep their children close to them. And when our children were taken away, like we cried for them. I'm like y'all sent your children up into the warehouse like it wasn't nothing, right?
Yeah.
And even today,
Dang, them sweatshops.
yeah, even today, y'all should be like really going hard against the Second Amendment, but y'all willing to sacrifice your kids for that. So I'm just like, y'all cowards for real. Don't come up here with that condescending mess.
Mm, mm.
But yeah, let me. Thanks for letting me speak today. I appreciate it. I'm gonna drop down and listen.
Thank you, Queen. Shout out to
Appreciate
Sister
it.
Tara. That's wild.
Yeah, I was just about to say the Industrial Revolution. Like, how many textbooks talked about forced child labor, and you don't see no pictures of like black children. I mean, I'm sure that they forced, um, you know, black children into those spaces, obviously, but yeah,
They
you've
didn't
seen a
have
lot
to.
of
Back
white
then,
teachers.
black children was working on the plantations, except they was sharecropping.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
they didn't have to have them in sweatshops. They was sweating in the field. But no, that's facts. You know what I'm saying? I look sideways towards any non-black creator that makes mostly anti-racist or quote unquote wannabe pro-black content. Anybody? I haven't seen anyone try to do pro-black. I've seen some weird stuff on TikTok, but yeah, like when they talk about racism this, racism that, just understand that TikTok does have an algorithm that will, monetize black oppression. It feeds on black oppression. Every entertainment industry in the West is run off black oppression like blood and vampires. So, you know what I'm saying? Like that's something where, you know, we're drawn to black oppression because of our trauma, and they're drawn to it because of their obsession. So that's the thing. I'm gonna go to
Opinion.
yeah.
There's like a compulsion. They want to get their opinion on race because they know they want to get close to it and it's unresolved. But then they get close to it and they start mill down and they say, no, get away and retreat and start thinking of lies and reinforce your prior beliefs. Like, but they know it's unresolved. That's why they keep getting drawn to it.
Yeah. Well, I hope John Brown learned as much as he could from that exchange, because, you know, it is. There's always gonna be a level of being hypocritical when they make that type of content, make that their platform. Africa, what's going on, brother?
You know the question up. I looked at it from a different perspective. When they say, "Do black people benefit from anti-racism?" I was looking at it inwardly. So I was looking at it from like, do
Oh,
black
anti-black.
people? Yeah. So within our communities, do black people benefit from black people taking an anti-racist stance? And I often find that a lot of black people take the anti-racist stance because it's a more palatable way to kind of address the issues that they know exist in our communities.
Yeah.
And I think it's a more palatable way to not really engage with like pro-blackness or more radical ideologies that kind of that are addressing the issues that go on in our communities. And it allows for people to say, "Oh, I'm still I'm still fair fighting for the people, but now I can have my white wife. Now I don't really have to like I don't have to address like and I can do this all lives matter kind of stuff. So I can pretend that like, hey, yes, there's racism in my community, but hey, racism happens to everybody, and let's fight for everybody to be uplifted. And I think it's this kind of like lack of focus that anti-racism, how it manifests amongst black people. And you can see how, like, if you look at the history of black people, you can see how anti-racism has been used against us, because part of like one of the biggest issues of COINTELPRO, and one of the biggest reasons why the Black Panther Party was dissolved and fell apart, was because they had not just like black informants, but they had the one of the biggest informants for the Black Panther Party was Richard Aoki, who was a Japanese member that they let in because they thought, hey, you're being oppressed by the YT man, I'm being oppressed by the YT man. We should be solidarity. We should. There's a level of solidarity there that we should be on the same page. But Richard Aoki was just like, yeah, I'm really trying to fight the FBI for you guys. and I think
They turn on us too, though. That's not just because he's Japanese or whatever.
Pardon? Sorry, brother, I missed that.
Black people and the Black Panther Party could possibly be turned on us too by the FBI, and they were, and so it's
100%. But you have even less investment. You have even less investment in your community. Like there's always going to be saboteurs within our community. But there's even more. There's even more likelihood that like if you're letting people out if you're letting people from, because we already have to deal with saboteurs within our community. So like letting people from outside of the community who are going to come in and be sabotage and sabotage only makes for a larger, more complex issue to deal with. And I just think that like I think a lot of it is like when black people, specifically black people, are anti-racist rather than pro-black, or rather than like specifically like radical ideologies, it's because a lot of black people don't want to admit like, hey man, racism exists everywhere, but like what's going on to you is a unique, specific kind of evil. And like I think it's comforting to people when they think like, hey, racism happens everywhere. But like in truth, like no, what's happened to us is a unique and a specific kind of evil. And I think even like how people engage, and I think it allows people to keep the kind of the racial pyramid in their head, because it allows people to say, hey, I don't just have to fight for my black community. I need to fight for anti-racism wherever I see it. So I can fight for the people who I feel are more human than myself. Like, and you see, and I mentioned it before, but you see this with how black people engage with the Palestinian issue, that like black people are way more invested in the Palestinian issue than anything to do with Africa. They're way more invested in the Palestinian issue than any kind of grassroots Black American organization. Way more invested in Palestine than they are with the Caribbean or the Afro-Caribbean. Why? Because like anti-racism allows you to keep that racial pyramid in your head, where you get to fight for the people who you feel are more worthy than your own community.
Yeah.
So like you see it all the time, man, and it's unfortunate, but like I think anti-racism allows people to live in like the fairy tale where it's everybody else versus the whitey oppressors, whereas black people are like the sad and unfortunate truth is that we are very much so in this on our own. Like when you're looking for allies, you're looking at other black faces. And that's unfortunate because it would be great if we lived in a world where like the Arab man and the Chinese man and the Indian man was fighting for us. But that's not the world we live in. That is not the world we live in at all. And I think when black people adopt these anti-racist things, it allows your time, your energy, and your efforts to be taken into places that are not beneficial for your community, and are taken into places where when the role is reversed, it's not reciprocated back towards us. So yeah, so like, hey man, we can go. You can go and look at the Palestinian marches. There's a whole bunch of black faces there. But like when you go look at the marches for Congo, go look at the marches for Sudan. There's a whole bunch of black faces there. And I ask you, if if anti-racism was like what you thought it was, why isn't it being reciprocated? I think that like I think anti-racism is a palatable kind of version to address the realities and the truths that we can't hide from.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
And all we need is each other, kings and queens. Like, there's over 50 million black people in the United States right now. There's over 8 million in the Caribbean right now, probably more. There's over 84 million in South America right now. There's over 1.5 billion black people on the continent of Africa right now. There's over 400,000 over in Australia alone. There's over a couple more million that are in like Asia region, and then there's about 15 to 20 million in Europe. All we need is each other. We don't need nobody else.
Yeah, that's I think what makes it more palatable is that it centers on a white problem, and nothing white folks love more than black people solving their problems. They love that. And racism is a white problem that affects the black community, not a black problem, because when I'm around black people, I don't gotta worry about racism. I gotta worry about anti-blackness. But even that is the effects and the side effect, the symptom of racism. So that's just, because we live in a world that has taught anti-blackness to even black people. So that being the the overarching power structure, the dominant power structure in society is also permeated in our community, penetrated our minds. But the reason they'd rather us focus on anti-racism is because it speaks to our obsession with them. That is another thing we also have to realize, is that a lot of black people are obsessed with their oppressor.
Also, brother legend, I think I don't want to get on anyone's toes, but like I think one of the reasons why, like, a kind of like a diet form of like anti-racism is very popular within our communities, is because of because of our religions, because we want to, like, a lot of black people want to be inclusive in their struggle against oppression, because they say, well, Jesus was a Jew, and like Jesus was from the Middle East, and like the Prophet Muhammad is an Arab. How can I find a way to balance my religious beliefs with like the fact that I know that we are going through something unique that requires like me to focus on my community, but like these religions won't allow you to focus on your community, because when you're looking at like godliness, when you're looking at righteousness, You're looking away from yourself. And
Mhm.
I don't mean to offend anybody, but like that's what it is. When every time you're looking at righteousness, you're looking at Rome. If every time you're looking at righteousness, you're looking at Jerusalem. If every time you're looking at righteousness, you're looking at Mecca, and then simultaneously you have to focus solely on like African people, that's very hard because there's a contradiction there. Because like, how can you tell me that like righteousness is coming from the Middle East, but like I need to focus specifically on Africa? That's why a lot of black people are anti-racist rather than pro-black, because pro-blackness means you have to specifically align yourself with the needs of African people, and that's hard, man. And a lot of black people would rather be anti-racist because it allows you to keep all the trinkets from this oppressive system that we live under.
Mm-hmm. If we can only cure racism, we can keep Western imperialism. We just want to be treated better.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And pro-blackness is adversarial to Western imperialism. So, that's controversial. That's radical. You N-words want to be free? That's radical.
There is them outwardly saying, you know, that they're prioritizing blackness and black issues, and like the reason why you're afraid to say that is because you know there's consequences and all that, and you want to side with keeping your nose clean rather than staying on 10 toes down.
Yeah,
exactly. There's a difference between like, hey, you want to be treated better? Oh, we can discuss that. Yeah, we can discuss how we treat everybody better. How can we treat everyone better? And then it's like, yes, that's a reasonable discussion.
Yeah.
But let's be liberated. Hey. You want to liberate yourselves and you want to liberate the continent with you? Hey man, we were having a reasonable discussion when we were talking about, you know, improving the way we treat you guys. But like as soon as you talk about being free, yeah, that's when the conversation stops. That's when they call you a radical. As soon as you start talking about liberating Africa and focusing on black people and black liberation, oh, that's when these people start looking at you like, well, this guy's kind of crazy. Oh, this guy, we can't really deal with this guy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's facts. I might make a video now. Africa be inspiring my videos, man. I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna just drop radical black ideas on a video. I'm not even gonna explain nothing. If somebody want an explanation, they're gonna have to ask in the comments. I'm gonna just rapid fire some pro-black ideology, Pan-African pro-black ideologies. I'm gonna just drop them. I'm gonna talk about everything. I just came up with a video idea because I be needing video ideas, y'all, because I don't know what to talk about, and I'm not responding to none of these comments. A lot of y'all be talking crazy in my comments, so I don't know what to say. But nah, that's real talk, brother. Appreciate you for shedding light on that topic. And don't forget, y'all, you can donate b1initiative.org. Join us. We have meetings on Sundays. If you're a brother or sister, Pan-African that wants to do more than just talk about it, you want to be about it, we are a remote group of over 500 Pan-Africans worldwide coming together and building resources for our people, funding resources for our people, building educational resources for our people, for our children, and generations to come. If you want to come and join us, feel free. But yeah, all right. I think we I don't know. Anybody else got something else to say? If not, I'm on. Yeah, go ahead.
They're a very small group, and I really think that they are their own worst enemy. But FBA claiming to be pro-black, it is the exact opposite of being pro-black. Like they run around here on this app and on the internet making all of these claims and but the thing is, when I engage in conversation with them, they are never talking about what our needs are and how we need to cater to them. All they do is perpetuate very xenophobic rhetoric. They are also talking about things that are quite literally impossible. Well, like the worst thing that I've ever heard one of them say was, we need to delineate from Africa. What are you talking about?
Go on my Twitter. I'll be at war on Twitter. You don't even know. I be going viral. I be going viral on Twitter. That Twitter is what, yo. Anybody that be on Twitter, BIGBROLGND, y'all will see me go. I be going viral. I be like, what? Like I be
Yeah.
getting thousands of likes. I posted a video. I got hundreds of thousands of people viewing it. In the comments, ain't nothing but raccoonery.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's the
goodness.
thing. They don't like when they talk, they literally use YT supremacist talking points. They'll make the claim that, if you ask them, okay, so what's your plan? Like what is your goal?
They
What's
don't
your
got
end
that.
game?
Because
Nothing.
that's where they messed up. Because they delineated from Pan Africanism. Tariq Nasheed was cool with Dr. Umar at one point. Follow me, Bisa Wawa. Just send me a DM or tweet me real quick so I got your thing too. But Tariq Nasheed was cool with Dr. Umar, but I heard that he had started out with Yvette Carnell and they both split up. I don't know why, because ideologically they're still the same. But
Mhm.
Yvette Carnell made the ADOS thing. Tariq Nasheed did, and I've argued with Yvette. Like when I first joined Twitter, she was every 5 minutes just responding to something else I was saying because I'll be spreading that Pan African propaganda on my Twitter. But then her and Tariq split. He made FBA. What they failed to realize, because they have identity crisis, and that's why they made ADOS and FBA. ADOS is literally them trying to get reparations.
Yeah.
FBA is we trying to get reparations and we having an identity crisis. But
Yep.
eventually, to compete, ADOS had to be we having an identity crisis and we're FBA. So it's the same thing. I don't know what the difference is, but it's the same thing now. But what they don't understand about Pan-Africanism is it is not for people that's having an identity crisis. I mean, you can find yourself in it. You can have knowledge of self and discover your heritage in it. But Pan-Africanism is a objective. So it's not a movement. It's not strictly a nationality or an identity for you. People aren't walking around really saying, my race is Pan-African. It's an objective. We have an objective. They don't. Their
Right.
objective is just we're FBA because we're different than the rest of y'all, and we're ADOS because we want reparations from Massa. They don't. Our objective is we are coming together to unite with Africans across the globe. That is an idea. That is something way more powerful than. So
Right.
every Pan African is on code with that one aspect. Whether we disagree on anything else, the one aspect every Pan African, if they're a true Pan African, the one thing we all agree on is unifying Africa, and that's enough.
Yep.
Sister,
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that I heard that was the only thing that I heard in terms of them trying to come up with a resolution was that they wanted to wait until the United States basically passed laws via reparations so that they could then use the reparations to build something. And we asked, like, all right, what institutions do you plan on building? And they immediately just like resorted back to like, well, we built Black Wall Street in the past. We built that. Like, okay, no, but what do you plan on building now? Like, what you can earn funds and build to better the Black community right now. Why are y'all waiting for the United States to give you something that more than likely they will never adequately give you enough for? Like, you can't put a price on tens of millions of men, women, and children, innocent Black men, women, and children being unalived over the past couple of centuries. Like what type of price can they really give us that's actually going to help them benefit? It's just their logic is on a whole different level of illogical. So
If you have a cage with a tiger in it where you sleep at in your bedroom, are you going to teach the tiger how to open the cage?
Hell no.
Are you going to, you might feed the tiger, give him food. Oh, and the tiger's going to say, oh, well, thank you so much. Oh my God. Instead of letting me starve, you're feeding me. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Master. But that you ain't never going to teach that tiger how to open that cage, how to come up and F your ass up for locking him in the cage in the first place. And you definitely, if you're making money off that tiger, you're not going to teach him how to just peacefully walk away and get away, because you need that tiger. So
Yep.
ain't no way they're going to give us reparations to free us from our cage, because they know that there's going to be those of us that get reparations money and want to chew their ass up with with some power. You know what I'm saying?
You know, religion, you know what it is? It's unfortunately this is a dynamic that exists in many of our communities, is a level of Stockholm syndrome. So, and I think a lot of this ADOS stuff was unleashed by like Trumpism. And unfortunately, I think the nature of Stockholm syndrome is that like there's no insane ideology that white people will indulge in that part of our community will not follow them into. So there's no amount of shark-infested waters and like immigrant obsessions or like, because what are whitey people obsessed with now? Like the talking immigration, even though the infrastructure is falling apart, even though homelessness is out of control, even though you still don't have healthcare, like the talking point for most whitey people is immigration, and you can see that like there's because of Stockholm syndrome in our communities, there's a certain subset of our community that want to follow them, irrespective of whether it doesn't make sense as Black Americans.
Right.
And I think in terms of reparations, I always say, do we deserve do black people all over the world deserve reparations? Yes, but you also have to live in reality, because reality is like you have to examine the people that you're thinking are going to give you reparations. The people that you have given who you're asking reparations for, like not only have they not given you reparations for 200 years, not only have they not given you reparations, but like they've also not just like talk less of reparations. And not only have they not said sorry, like they're banning that these are the same people that have been banning critical race theory. They're even banning the academic frameworks that will allow their children and their children's children to do better. Why do you think these people have any desire? They're about to re-vote Trump in. Why do you think these people have any desire to give you reparations? Is insane to me. It requires just a level of it's just the level of Stockholm syndrome there, that you are thinking like you have like allies within the white community that you don't have, that you think that they're going to show you a level of humanity that history shows that they have never shown you. And the current political climate doesn't show that like whitey people are becoming more kind of empathetic towards Black people.
At all.
The political climate is showing that like they're becoming more radicalized. So what part of like the political climate makes you think that like you're gonna get reparations from these people is beyond me, and it's completely beyond me. And like the way some of these FBA people talk, like like you haven't got a bargaining chip apart from screaming on and like abusing Black people on social media. Like the actual white people that you want to extract reparations from, all you can do is beg. So like, I really think that like, as you said and as other people have said, like reparations will come. But reparations will come when Africa is the power base that it needs to be, and like Africa can extract reparations. Because all this begging white people for reparations, good luck. Good luck. Oh my gosh. Like.
That's all you can do is beg, because you can't do or else. You can't do nothing else. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? They say no, and they can feel bad that the tiger's locked in the cage. They can feel all this type of stuff. They talk to the tiger. What you gonna do when you get out? I'm gonna eat you. The tiger is like, I'm gonna fuck you up because of what you did. You locked me in
No,
the
don't
cage
do
for 400
that.
years.
You see, that's why I'm locking you up, because you got that attitude. You need to lose that bad attitude. Maybe the next life. Maybe your tiger cubs is gonna be a little bit better. I'll see if they deserve to get let out. But for now,
And then you have what you have is you have the crazy tigers look at the leopards and the lions who are also chained and say, "You're the reason Massa won't let us out. If only it was just the tigers and not all these other big cats, the Massa would have let us out."
Yeah.
But historically, white people make these transgressions, whether it's America or whether it's Palestine or Congo or wherever,
You can't repay these things. You can't make them right. You know, if you had to do a pound of flesh, then you'd be eliminated. So like, what else is there to do? But they make these transgressions and cross the line, and they're gonna be like, "What you gonna do about it? You can't do nothing about it. What you gonna do? You can't make it right. Here, I'll give you 50 cents. Now be happy." Like, no, that's not enough. That's not what a life is worth. That's not what the suffering is worth. That's not how much you've made off of this whole situation. But they set it up this way and be like, "What you gonna do about it?"
Exactly.
You know what I also think deep down there is a element of like understanding with some of these FBA people, that they understand that like whatever they get out of the one, if they ever get reparations, whatever they get out of reparations will be so underwhelming and also unrepresentative of what happened. Like that's why they want to say, hey, we're delineating. Oh, we need to check your lineage to make sure like your family have never left the United States of America, because they know that like, hey, if they get paid, I don't know, say the U.S. government writes a check for $1 billion, like they know that that's scarce when you, and I think
That's
and
next
that's
to
so
nothing.
sensitive of like of the pain and struggle of 400 of over 400 years of forced labor. But I think they say, hey, if we can get 1 billion and we can make sure like not anybody who has any kind of like, you know, if your family left for Canada, if your family left for Jamaica, if your family left for Haiti for any period of time, that like if we can narrow this down as much as possible, we might be able to. And they're not even doing the maths. Like
Yeah.
there's tens of millions of Black Americans.
No, that's liberals. They always try to exclude as many people as possible and make.
I think that's what they want. They want to exclude as many people as possible. But like, hey, even the underwhelming amount, I don't think you're gonna get that.
But even with college debt, you see they're trying to do like 10,000 and stuff, and that's gonna help out white people. And average Black person owes 25,000, but they still want to talk about excluding as many people as possible, and they'll justify it and say, "Oh, well, you don't want to pay for rich people's debt. Rich people don't have debt. They either paid cash or they had the tax-free accounts or something like that, but they don't have debt. It's always poor people that got debt, whether it's white or Black or whatever, but it's poor people." So that's just a stupid argument to make. But the whole point of the argument is that you got to give your tax returns. And so if you haven't been paying taxes or haven't been working or this and that and stuff, you still won't get your college debt paid for.
Also,
Yeah, my biggest thing is that like
Civil
I
War.
think that one of the best ways, like if they were to even have a conversation related to that, like I still don't understand why Black people are paying taxes. Like I do not, for the life of me, I will never understand why Black people are being forced to pay for their own unalivings. Like that's literally where the tax money is going. It's going right into the pockets of all of these institutions that are literally being created for the purpose of oppressing Black people. We are effectively right now, as of 2024, paying our own executioners to act on our own executions. Like that's
Why don't
crazy.
we? Why don't we come together as a people and just stop paying taxes?
I'm down.
How do y'all feel about that?
The reason for it.
50 million
Yeah,
people
you
all
heard
at
me,
once
right?
to stop paying?
She said we
I'm
going
down.
to jail.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, they can't take all 50 million of
They
us,
said,
but you
"Watch
know,
us. We've done it before."
yeah.
Y'all, there has never been a revolution. Every revolutionary has been arrested. They put Daniel in jail. They put Jesus in jail. They put everyone in your little book that y'all love to read about these righteous people. They put them in jail. Ain't never been somebody that made change. Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, they all been to jail. You ain't gonna do something that's not. You ain't gonna do something for your people that's gonna not be illegal. It's illegal for us to. It's illegal for us to fight back.
You should hope to be on the watch list.
You see what I'm saying? It
But
was an honor for Dr. Khalid Muhammad said this. It was an honor for him to be censured by the U.S. Senate, the first U.S. citizen, private citizen, to be censured by the Senate. So what I'm saying is, 45 million of us, wouldn't you love to see all of us deciding we're not going to pay taxes, and just see what would happen. They can't arrest all of us, and legally, there was a man that said the IRS he took the IRS to court and said that he didn't have to pay his taxes, and legally there's no nothing in the Constitution that says you have to pay. The IRS is its own private institution. People don't know that. So technically, the IRS is not the government. Just saying. There's a big loophole there. It's just I'm just saying. End of the day, what if 45 million people didn't pay their taxes? You think they're gonna arrest all of us?
But that's how it need to be. We need to have 400 years of not paying taxes. And
Somebody put in the comments, "Are you war ready?" Hey, I'm telling y'all, what if we stop paying taxes? I think that sounds brilliant. Not even brilliant. I think that sounds melanated because that's something that would directly that's anti-racism that would directly be a method of defending black people because I don't know how they're gonna pay for shit if 45 million people don't pay their taxes.
they're going to create the money. I mean, they don't need the money from us. That's just going back out the drain. They delete that from the system. The money
But the
gets
thing
created.
is, it would have to be all of us. Like it couldn't even be me and a few others. It would have to be all of us. Except the only way I think I could see that even getting popular is if even 1,000 of us decided not to pay our taxes and then went to jail, and then the publicity from 1,000 of us going to jail and talking about why we didn't pay our taxes would inspire everyone else to not pay their taxes. Like we would have to go be on the news, y'all. We would have
So
to be on the news saying we ain't paying our taxes to the Yankees, and like we would have to be pro-black on the news on our way to jail, and then everybody hopefully would want to join in the following year. So I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you know,
because
I
you
got
can't talk about us. Go ahead, bro.
I got my website, ineedaraise.org, and helping the working poor.
Yeah.
But one of the first questions when you sign up is, do you work for one of the top 25 biggest employers in America? If it's like Amazon, Starbucks, McDonald's, all that stuff. And so doing something like this, as far as, it don't have to be the first 1,000 people. Like you can coordinate something with hundreds of millions of people that's like below the radar and got direct contact with them and it's not through social media. As far as coordinate something, like if you're saying, okay, well, all the black workers that's working at Walmart or McDonald's, Monday morning at 9 a.m., just walk out. Like they can't fire everybody because like we
Yeah.
make the system go. And y'all so
Right.
dependent on us. If we coordinate something across 50 states, only 9 states have any significant amount of diversity. But
We would have to spread the word, and
yeah,
to make things easier, it would probably have to be like 2 years out. Like in the year 2026, we are not going to pay our taxes, and just start a whole viral train. Like y'all, we're not paying our taxes. Except even then, people are still going to pay their taxes because they're afraid. We would have to go to jail, y'all. We would have to go to jail first. We would have to show people we about that life, and then when they see us get mistreated in the trial, then they're gonna have to talk about it in little lives and talk about, yeah, did you see what happened with the tax return 10?
but some people only pro-black up to a point, and when their life gets threatened, then they back down. And they say, "Okay, yes, master," and they're not willing to put their life on the line or really, be unalive for their beliefs and you know,
I'm gonna
stay
tell
true.
you. I'm gonna tell y'all right now that if we fully engaged in, if we had the same belief system, and this is a quote from Dr. Amos Wilson, and I may be paraphrasing a little bit, but if we had the same consciousness as our ancestors, we would be in a state of war right now.
I know.
Straight
Yeah.
up, like
Straight
that.
up.
Like it's
Yeah, straight up. That's facts, brother. That's what Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. and Dr. Francis Cresswell Sensei as well. Y'all, we're in a war. Um, everybody, y'all are used to hearing the war, thrown around, talking about this and gender war and all this little stuff. Like y'all used to hearing that word over and over, so you might be a little desensitized. We're in a war, y'all. We are, and we're not acknowledging it because I feel like psychologically, this is what Dr. Umar says. Psychologically, we've already been defeated, and we afraid to fight back. But that's the thing. He ain't lying. Oh, did they take him down? Where'd he go? What happened to
Timothy?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened to him, but
I
What?
hope they didn't.
Usually they let me know. I didn't see nothing pop
maybe he
up.
just dropped.
I don't know.
Maybe he just dropped.
Yeah. No, it did get real in here for like 5 seconds. It got really real, but he ain't lying. We don't want to acknowledge that. But the more I go into this consciousness thing, the more I'm understanding my African roots and what's going on with my people. I don't know, y'all. It looked like we just ignoring that we on a battlefield every day. We just ignoring it because it's a cold war. It's a cold war because we've already been defeated. We have no bargaining chip. We have nothing they're afraid of. We have nothing they're afraid of. Now, if we unified Africa, if we took back Africa, if we could at least take back Africa, then they're gonna be scared. They're gonna be shaking in their boots. But sitting around marching, talking about how we want to be represented in their movies. Representation matters. Talking about how we want to take back country. That ain't war talk. That ain't nothing. We want to take back country music. Like, yeah, okay.
So it used to be Southern music, and then they separated it and put blues for you know who's and country music for you know who's. And from the beginning, from the inception, it was always supposed to be segregated and not for us. They don't.
Wow, I didn't even know that, but I guess you're right.
Oh shit! I done took Brother Legend something.
Yeah, I did not know that. And you taught me something about music. I play the blues. Like if you put me in front of a piano right now, I could play you the blues.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's the origin. That split happened because
It used to be
that makes sense.
mixed. It used to be mixed in Southern music,
Well,
and
yeah,
then
I know country comes from what comes from the blues.
no,
That's
no, no. They were made at the same
they
time.
were yeah, right. I didn't know that. Like I
And
didn't
they
know
stole the
that
banjo.
split.
We,
I
we
didn't
were
know
known,
how that happened.
we were known for playing the banjo, and then they done co-opted that and made us think that it's for Huckleberry Finn instead of us. And same with the Western movies, and that's our stories. And they didn't have no cowboys and Lone Rangers and running through town. And damn, he sure is bad. They said, "Oh, damn, this is such a good story. It'd be better if it was white."
Yeah, have y'all seen how much they have like snatched up hand boning?
I forgot
Like
what that is. It's a
uh
dance,
hand
right?
boning. Yeah, it's like you basically like well it originates from enslaved Africans where they had taken away the drums because they figured out that drums were being used
Oh,
to
right.
communicate. Yeah. And so what our ancestors started to do is they started to use their bodies as drums.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's where the whole like hand tapping and the like the whole hand motion thing comes from. And so yeah, like I didn't even realize that my mom had been teaching me hand boning throughout my whole childhood, but never even like I had never like linked it up until I had really like researched into it. And to see how many YT people are ham boning right now, like it was literally shown in the TV show animated series SpongeBob. It was shown in the movie SpongeBob. It was shown in Adventure Time, I believe. And yet, like the amount of times in which ham boning literally has been hijacked by them and it has been turned in regular show. Yeah, there we go. Thank you guys. Yeah, like it was literally hijacked by them and reformatted in a way that was like, hey, we're gonna indoctrinate our children through the cartoons first, and now they have full blown concerts where you see YT people up there tapping up like right next to the microphones, talking about, oh yeah, I don't know where it comes from, but hey, it's called ham boning, and you do this, and everybody's cheering them. But I'm like, hold up, time out. There are literally decades old videos of black people ham boning, and they've been doing this shit for generations. Like this is something that y'all co-opted and snatched away and are now performing at concerts without even realizing that it literally originated because your ancestors were forcibly removing our ability to be able to make music on drums, which for some reason you just randomly felt as though that was something that had to be removed from black people. And yeah, I mean, it was being used for to communicate between plantations and to essentially like plan
I
revolts.
was just about to say that because African
Yeah.
drums is a form of communication. So the reason they would want to take that from us is because we was probably communicating. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I want to say Bugs Bunny, if I remember correctly, they had animated instances of that too, because they put a lot of like Bugs Bunny and both Mickey Mouse are coded as black, like as far as being descendants of minstrelsy, and it's been watered down recently. But in the beginning, they were basically, a wascally little wabbit that was a black person, and then Mickey Mouse was a minstrel show mouse.
Oh yeah.
The original voice of Bugs Bunny was a black man too.
But whether it's we figuring out ways to do maps in our cornrows, or figuring out ways to do codes and messages in the drums and the dances or whatever and stuff, we're gonna figure out a way to get around them. I was a part of another live, and everybody was staying on code as playing a game, and we were just whispering. And most of the time, black people coming up, they see what's going on, and you can either choose to participate or not, and they just go along with it without questioning and pushing back and resisting. But then you get multiracial people and white people coming up, and they want to keep on asking, or they just come up talking super loud and disrupting the piece. And they see the same thing. They're coming into the room, but they don't respect blackness. And so just out of that disrespect, they don't have a knee-jerk reaction to respect it and just go along with it and stuff. So they're going to question it. They're going to talk in full volume. And it was interesting, though. They were trying to police black bodies and just be like, oh, it's freaky. Oh, it's wrong. Oh, it's bad. You need to do what I tell you to do and speak fully, speak loud. And like, no, we're just going to whisper the entire time and say everything in a whisper.
Oh, okay. That's what they was doing. I seen somebody else doing that.
Yeah. We weren't explaining it or nothing, but, black people just can tell on code most of the time. It's like, okay, well, I guess y'all doing something or playing a game and stuff. And, who are you to come in here and mess it up? Like most black people just don't do that. But white people, they sure will come in and just refuse and all. Like, how you going to come into the room and start dictating and controlling and switch it all up?
They love to try to slide into spaces and immediately dictate whatever is going on in that space. It's like, hey, so there's this thing called civil behavior. And by forcing yourself into a space that is predominantly of black people and attempting to police how other black people are interacting with each other is quite literally something that originates from the slave plantation. So you say that slavery is so far gone and that it's so far removed, but at the same time, you are embodying the very habits and behaviors that an enslaver would do, which is weird. And that's another thing. I absolutely hate the fact that people try to pretend that slavery is so far away and like the thing is that they try to dismiss the conversation of racism like, oh, that was so long ago, it was back in the day, da 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 da. All right, well then why the hell do we have a slave plantation on the back of our nickel right now? Like why do we have
they just gaslighting? They just say any bullshit that comes to mind in order for them to not have to dissect and think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't listen to their words. Fuck their words.
Oh yeah. No.
Like, let me tell you something, Timothy. Right after the civil rights movement, when they officially didn't have dominion over black bodies, that's when the whole pet movement and pet rights and humanity, and especially with white people naming their pets with human names instead of pet names. And so instead of calling it Spike, they're calling their dogs, Keisha and Tyrone and stuff like that, and giving it a real person's name
because they can't control us, and so they need to have control over something, and they want to get this blonde-haired little, you know, poodle or golden retriever or whatever the other white dogs are, other than the violent ones.
All
You
right,
know,
be
it's always
careful.
going to
You'll go tell black women this. Because some of them, listen, some of y'all with them cats, I'm telling you right now, some of y'all with them cats and them little puppies y'all be having, I'm gonna tell you right now.
But this whole modern pet movement came up after the civil rights movement when they couldn't control us. So they said, okay, we're going to shift this energy towards the animals. We can domesticate and control every movement they make.
Yeah, I peeped that was a little telling a while back, because I was doing some research on how in Peru and South America, dogs don't live in your house. They just walk around the neighborhood. And in Africa, same thing. So I'm like, why in America do we have our animals in our house? Like, we got litter boxes, and like the animals, some of them just stay inside all the time. That's Eurocentric. Like, y'all think y'all can own animals. Like, why you got them why you got animals in your house? Like, me and my wife, she wanted a cat too. That's why, you know, but I'm like, nah, like, I want animals in my house. Like, I'm good.
If I let him outside, he might leave and not come back because he doesn't like it here and being trapped inside.
Right. So that should tell you something right there. But y'all, I gotta go. I got work to do for the community. Sankofapedia merch coming soon. You know what I'm saying? We building Sankofapedia still, so I still got Sankofapedia to build. I still got things to do. It's like building the pyramids, y'all. Gotta do it one day at a time. And appreciate y'all for coming up and speaking with us, Populous, Timothy, and Black Swan. Populous, you gotta start coming to the meetings again. You used to come to the meetings.
Yeah, I know.
Things have slowed down for a bit there, but we back building on the path. We've been watching some videos and having discussions and stuff like that.
I got Discord on my other phone, and so I don't really be on it. Like, I gotta purposefully pull out that phone and charge it and be using it and stuff. But yeah, no, I could start doing that.
All right, yeah. Well, appreciate everybody that has been coming to the meetings and talking with us, volunteering. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters, mostly sisters. Shout out the Queendom. The Queendom has been.
Oh, they're gonna lead the way.
Yeah, like they've been writing these articles. We over 2,000 articles already in Sankofapedia. So we have 2,000 profiles built of the ancestors, man. Shout out to Sister Tia. And what else? Oh yeah, we're gonna have merch coming soon. We got hoodies. We got the shirt I'm wearing. We got the hats. Coming soon, Sankofapedia. So all tax deductible. We are officially a 501c3. We have the IRS sent us a letter. We don't gotta pay them. We just gotta be held accountable with the money, though. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna do that. What else? Yeah.
You had mentioned the pyramid, and I was saying, what if we've been thinking about this wrong the whole time, talking about it's too heavy to move? I said, what if it was wet cement and they figured out a way to bake it in the sun with gold foil or something like that? And that's why you can't figure it out, is because, like, you know, you going around the wrong way. If it was wet cement and then you shaped it and then let it bake and then go on to the next block, you ain't got to move nothing.
Yeah, I've heard of many theories. I'm like, I don't know. The thing is, not even because they keep saying, like, they keep making little articles saying they figured it out. My thing is, even if they do figure it out, we still don't know how they knew the circumference of the Earth. That's what we don't know, because the only way that you can make pyramids that size that point to stars, you would have to know the circumference of the Earth. And
but we had 2,000 years to chart the stars and shadows and stuff like that, you know, without getting interrupted by Europe.
Exactly. Pretty much, yeah. Because thousands of years of brain power, people like forget that that's what makes Africa the most powerful. Is we've had thousands of generations of brain power. If I think of 2 + 2 = 4, Or actually, I think of 1 + 1 = 2. Then my child comes and says, you know what? 2 + 2 = 4. And then my other child says, you know what? 4 + 4 = 8. And then it just keeps going for thousands of years. We're going to be light years ahead. Now, someone else can come and take the answer when we get to, 12 + 12 = 24. Someone else can take the answer to 24 and run off with it, but they don't know what the ancestors taught all the way back to 1 + 1. So they have the result, but they don't have the ingredients, and that's what Europe did. Europe stole it from our ancestors, but they didn't have the knowledge to really know why things were done the way they were done. We called it sacred math. That's in English, but that's how we refer to it, as sacred math, like the sacred knowledge of the universe. They look at it as just a way to count numbers.
When you unite Africa, I want you to raid the Vatican and get our books back from Alexandria.
Now that would be something.
See what kind
That
of dark
would be
magic they
something.
got in there that they don't want to tell about, and talk about cures to this and all this and that and whatever. It's going to be a whole bunch of stuff that's going to blow your mind, being like, damn, we've been doing stuff backwards this entire time. You're
That
supposed to
is
drink water
wild
through
when you
your
think
ears.
about
You're
it.
supposed to drink through your nose. What?
That is wild, because why would they have secret stuff? But let me go.
All right.
I got work to do. Y'all be safe out there. We've had our first intruder alert in the Discord, and
Oh, no.
yeah, we've been attacked, but I feel like we did a good job at stopping the attacker, and you know what I'm saying? Like we got people that will try to misuse the platform, but shout out to my brothers and sisters that, got our back and was able to help me get to the bottom of what was going on. I'll give y'all updates soon on some things, other things we're building. So yeah, keep you posted. All right, y'all. Peace.